Welcome back to the Nerdy Jock podcast. This is my co-host, Kevin Ketchum, aka the Nerdy Jock, who likes to light seagulls on fire for fun.
And this is my co-host, DK, the DB guru, who also has more cursed energy than the city of Tokyo combined.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Guys, we're really excited. This is a brand new format that we're doing. We were covering Dragon Ball Z from the beginning of Raditz all the way through the end of Frieza. It's something that we grew up with, something that we know very well. But from episode 1, we were talking about we wanted to do something that we hadn't seen.
Right.
Collectively. We wanted to do a show that people love that we didn't know anything about.
Yeah.
And this is the maiden voyage of that episode. We are covering Jujutsu Kaisen episodes 1 through 4.
Super excited for this one, right, Dan?
Right.
So we've done, half of Dragon Ball already. There's the Saiyan saga with Raditz, and then Vegeta. And then you have the Frieza saga right now. And we decided, hey, after we're done, we're going to launch the Frieza saga, that last episode of the Super Saiyan battle in a couple weeks. So keep your eyes open for that. And we're going to go from there and take a little hiatus from Dragon Ball. And then we're doing Jujutsu Kaisen the whole first season, basically.
Right, basically, yeah. And that might actually even come out before this is released.
Exactly.
As far as we know, yeah.
So timing is not all on, but just so you do know, if you do listen to the podcast on our network, instead of being just Dragon Ball Z Megapod, we're basically going to redub it the Nerdy Jock Media Anime Pod. So we're going to cover all kinds of different animes. We want to do some more modern stuff like Jujutsu Kaisen. And we're going to do some more old school stuff like, I don't know, Yushio and Tora, which is a great example. We're talking about Jujutsu Kaisen, stuff like that. Macross Plus. So we're gonna hit all the animes. Like, let's not just limit ourselves to one thing. But if you are one of the big Dragon Ball Z fans, thanks for tuning in. Just so you know, we will be getting back into Cell Saga as soon as we're done with the Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, we'll be jumping back on Dragon Ball, but in the meantime, when we do Dragon Ball, we're doing like 10 to 17 episodes per pod. We're only doing 4 for this. And so if you haven't seen it, or if you want to watch it again, feel free to watch along with us week by week. We're going to be bringing new episodes every week, talking about our impressions, which for me at least are completely virginal. Yeah. I knew nothing about this show, which I have a question for you, actually. Like, what were your impressions of this show when it first came on your radar?
So I had no idea what Jujutsu Kaisen was, actually. I had one person at work, I was talking about anime, because like, oh yeah, you like anime? I was like, dude, I love anime. I've seen a ton. I've seen literally probably 500, 600 different animes. And they're like, well, have you seen, Attack on Titan? I was like, yes, of course. Have you seen Demon Slayer? Yes. It's like, well, have you seen Jujutsu Kaisen? And I was like, no, what's Jujutsu Kaisen? And they're like, what? And this huge anime face, like, what? Are you kidding me? You haven't seen Jujutsu Kaisen? They're like, no, it blows all that out of the water. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? Demon Slayer?
That's high praise. That's high praise.
And like, that wasn't just one person. My friend Yoko, she's the one who actually turned me on to Jujutsu Kaisen. But I talked to like 4 other people I knew, and they're like, no, Jujutsu Kaisen. And then you realize you're on the internet and you see more Jujutsu Kaisen. You're like, what the hell? I got to get in on this too.
Right. I remember.
How about you?
I mean, yeah, I remember that people that I knew were watching it, and I thought it had a weird name. I was like, is it about jujitsu?
Right.
Which we'll get into that with the name and all that stuff. Is it about the martial art jujitsu?
Right.
And I knew that it was done by Mappa, and I was already very interested in Mappa. Right. Obviously, like a lot of the talent and the creators from Madhouse left Madhouse and founded Mappa. And I knew that it was a big thing in Shonen Jump, but other than that, I knew very little. And friends who knew my sensibilities are like, you should give it a shot because it's got really awesome animation. You're going to love it.
The animation is superb. I mean, Mappa, they do some of the best animation for all the biggest shows right now.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. But other than that, I didn't know anything about it. I've seen the people everywhere. I've seen Gojo. I've seen all the merch and all that, but I knew literally nothing about it, except for that there was sort of this period of time when it was like everyone was freaking out simultaneously about Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen.
Right. They were kind of contemporaneous, right? They just they're both modern. They came out at roughly around the same time. I think Demon Slayer obviously has a little bit longer, came a little bit earlier than Jujutsu Kaisen.
I think so, yeah. A little bit more in the volume.
And Demon Slayer, we're still at as far as anime goes, we're in season 5, so something like that.
And the manga's done, right?
Yeah. I think the manga's done with Demon Slayer.
Wow. Yeah, so I knew that these two things were competing both in terms of people were saying that they're very in some ways this is what people were saying at the time. I have a feeling that with this show this isn't going to be the case, but they were saying they're very conventional shonen type stories, but told in very unique ways, and that the animes both had incredible animation.
Incredible. Both of them do.
Which, yeah. And then when we were discussing what's going to be the thing when we take a hiatus from Dragon Ball, Demon Slayer was on the table, but you've seen Demon Slayer. I have not.
Yeah, I love Demon Slayer, and I want to do Demon Slayer, so I think eventually, maybe after Jujutsu Kaisen, we might go, into Dragon Ball and still do a concurrent pod of Demon Slayer or something like that. But
it would be interesting doing Demon Slayer with one person who's seen it, one person who hasn't.
Right.
So somebody's reacting and somebody's getting to revisit the whole thing. It's a blind spot. I haven't watched a ton of new anime in the last, 6 years or something. So yeah, it's a blind spot. But everyone's telling me, even my girlfriend, who's not by any means an anime fan, on our first date, she's like, "Oh yeah, I love Demon Slayer."
Yeah,
so
I love Demon Slayer. It's a great show. I'm like, what? Love Demon Slayer. Yeah, me too.
I should check it out. But all of that's good because today we are doing Jujutsu Kaisen. That's right. And for those of you who don't know, who are here to watch along with us, we're super excited to have you along for the ride. Just a little history on Jujutsu Kaisen. It is a manga series that was originally published in 2018. Author is Gege Akutami, who is a unknown person. Nobody even knows this person's, I guess, gender or whatever. Shows up. People usually use he when they refer to Gege Akutami, but this person shows up, in really elaborate costumes for signings, just completely maintaining his or her or their identity, like as a secret and all that stuff, and started producing this. Has cited Evangelion as one of his prime influences.
We've only seen the first 4 episodes, by the way. I don't know if we mentioned that yet.
We
did.
Yeah. We're only covering the first 4, and we are not watching ahead.
We're not watching ahead.
No. So I'm stoked that we're recording today so I can keep going because I've watched. We read the manga and I watched the first 4 episodes I think 3 times in preparation for this.
And I've watched them twice. So
okay,
but only in English dub, not the Japanese sub, which is my normal thing. You're like, Kevin's not doing the sub version. No, I'm actually listening in English.
I'm holding it down for the subscript.
And I will get back in the sub too. But I did want to give it a try, and my girlfriend prefers to watch it dubbed. So we're gonna start. I had to start watching it dubbed, which they're doing a fantastic job. But back on the point about Neon Genesis Evangelion. When you said that he gets heavy inspiration from my favorite anime series of all time, Evangelion, I was like, I didn't really see it the first couple episodes until Nobara shows up. Nobara shows up.
Oh, Nobara, yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, that is a 100% Asuka Langley Soryu.
Yeah, even the design, like the orange hair, that sort of, that attitude.
The attitude.
Yeah, all that stuff. I mean, for sure that, and then the other stuff too, which we'll eventually get into. Now that we've seen the first 4 episodes, before we really dive into each one, what are your initial impressions of the series?
I mean, I just, so far, okay, because I haven't read ahead, I'm kind of like in shock. I don't know where it's going to go from here. So far, I'm loving it. I loved how in the first episode, which we'll get in deeper, but like the introduction, they just kind of, it starts off with him already being captive in that, in the jujitsu room where it's basically wallpapered with anti-curse protection spells all over him, and you're like, oh, what the hell is going on?
Which was the first panel of chapter 2 in the manga. Like, that's not how the manga starts, but in the show they give you that little teaser where he's already tied up and they're like, you're gonna be executed. And
you did tell me that the manga is different. So I mean, guys, you can fault me, but I haven't started reading the manga yet, and I will have to, but we're going to. But my initial impression is like, okay, it's got a lot of great tropes that are very popular in manga and anime, things we love. You got the high school dynamic.
Right.
You got clubs.
You've got clubs. You've got you've got a character that you like because he's very, very good at something. Yeah. Like
he's athletic.
He's a track and field genius.
Exactly.
But he just wants to live a simple life and get home by 5 to take care of his grandpa.
Exactly.
You've got that. You also got, and we'll get into this deeper, you've got unjust injury. Like his whole circumstance being involved with the whole thing is something that is unfair to him, that he didn't ask for. He's a good guy, did a thing, and then now he has
thrown right onto him.
Right. And you got a ticking clock. You've got 3 things that make for a compelling and interesting narrative.
Exactly.
And I mean, I guess that sums up my impressions of it.
Yeah, no, I mean, so far, so good. I mean, the first 4 episodes, it starts and it doesn't stop. It's just like boom, boom, boom. It's breakneck pace. Well, the second episode, it kind of does take a little lull, but like right from the get-go, you're like, oh, wow, this is crazy.
Right. And a lot of mystery being set up, too.
Yeah, a lot of mystery.
Which I'll get into also. But, I mean, it was interesting learning that the author was mainly inspired by Evangelion.
Yeah.
Because if I were just looking at the art, I would say Kubo, like Bleach.
Right.
Kishimoto, Naruto, for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of Naruto influence, a little bit of Fairy Tail in the character designs too.
Yeah.
Like a little bit, but also, I'm thinking that this came out in 2018. This came out post Attack on Titan.
Right.
So I've got to think in some way that this story is going to have a very morose bent to it that's going to be somewhat affected by that, because how could it not? And I'm maybe I'm wrong. People, please don't spoil it for us.
Yes, disclaimer.
But because Evangelion and because it's post Attack on Titan, I have a feeling that everything is going to go to shit in this show. I have a feeling we're going to have a lot of tearful moments.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that everything is going to be flipped on its head. I mean, right now we're still getting the base work. We're still kind of even figuring out the characters.
It's like, welcome to the magical high school.
Exactly.
Here are the rules of the world.
Oh, there's cursed items. There's the cursed demons that are on your campus. Classic. So
Right.
I mean, just a lot of the great classic tropes. So a lot of stuff they're setting up. You watched it what, 3 times?
I watched it 3 times. Yeah.
I watched it 2 times, and it took me 2 times to kind of even get a gist of where we're headed or what's going on there. I mean, the name of the first episode is Ryomen Sukuna.
Ryomen Sukuna.
Which is like the name of the demon, like the most powerful, the lord of the demons.
The most powerful demon and we've got this other separate mystery with Gojo, who seems to be totally unconcerned with how powerful Sukuna is. Yeah. Well, let's just get into it. Let's just get into episode 1, Ryomen Sukuna, unless you have any other preliminary thoughts.
Okay, no, just thank you guys for tuning in. I mean, we're so excited to do this show. And also, last but not least, we love the comments, but please don't spoil ahead, because we are going in virgins. We are fresh first years at Jujutsu High Tokyo.
Yeah.
So this is like our introduction to the university or school.
If you want to make fun of us because our takes are way off or whatever, if you want to write anything ominous, I'm totally down with that. Just don't spoil anything.
Yeah, we will throw out some hot takes on where we think it's going, and it might just be completely wrong and hilarious. So
we're out of our element. This shit ain't Dragon Ball.
This is not Dragon Ball.
So we don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So, episode 1, Ryomen Sukuna. Right. We open with this teaser where we have our main character, Yuji Itadori, who's tied up, and this creepy-looking Hatake Kakashi-esque figure, who's also a teacher, Gojo Satoru.
As you can see from my shirt here, if you're watching on YouTube.
Who in the anime, if you don't know what's happening, is saying some kind of like weird stuff, like, which one are you right now?
Right.
And then also tells him like, oh, your execution has been approved.
Yeah, and that's another point. That was so interesting when he's like, who are you? And I'm like, what do you mean, who are you? And then you didn't even realize till later on. That's why it's worth watching again. Definitely got to go rewatch that, because it's like, what? Who is he talking about?
It made a little bit more sense in the manga because it didn't happen like that. Like it's just like, here's the high school, here's the setup. And then it went right into that. So I was like, this is interesting. I'm glad that I read the manga first, because I think I would have been a little bit lost at the intro. Right. But having read the manga, like so much anime is like made for the manga readers too. It's kind of a beautiful intro, like a beautiful way to render and get you hooked into the story immediately. Like, here's the ticking clock.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great that you just meant getting hooked in the story. I just mentioned that because we were talking off pod the other day when we were discussing Jujutsu Kaisen, and we were talking about how cool it is that this is a perfect example of why anime is so appealing to the whole world right now, is because they will, in Western traditional animation, every character is pretty much set up. You pretty much know within 2 seconds what they're about, what they're going through. It's a lot more linear storytelling than you get in anime, where it's like, hey, I'm gonna have to get some context clues from here. I have to figure out. I have to look a little deeper into what is going on and who is this guy and who is he possessed by, and like all that's gonna slowly being unraveled over these first couple episodes, and you don't really get a good full impression. It's like one piece of the puzzle is explained, and a lot of shows in Western culture, at least until recently when they started adapting that kind of storytelling style, has really been dynamic to Japan and Japanese animation and manga.
Yeah, there is a lot more room, I feel, in Japanese storytelling for discovery. Right. I took a screenwriting class years ago when I was in college, and I remember the teacher hated Steven Spielberg. And it's like he was one of those like very, very artsy teachers who like hated Steven Spielberg. It's like, all right, dude, like, Steven Spielberg is amazing.
He's like, he's probably smoked a cigarette in class. He's like,
yeah. He like wears like corduroy pants and he had like kind of this posture. He's like, Steven Spielberg, he thinks his audience is an idiot. He shows them everything and blah blah. And it's like, I mean, but that's fun too.
Yeah.
I like that. But I do like in Japanese storytelling, especially in manga like this, that there is so much room for discovery.
Yes.
You get to discover who people are. I mean, the cast of Naruto, watching them go from where they start to where they end up was one of the most fulfilling character development things I ever saw in anime or manga or anything. The way that Shikamaru, he just kind of this annoyed guy who kind of like pokes the bear a little bit and it doesn't want to do anything. And then all the places that he ended up, it was just like, dang, like I really feel like I know these people. I really care about them. It's almost like reading a book in that way, because a book, I guess it is a book. First and foremost, it is a book. But yeah, you're not just told everything right away. You are discovering who people are first through characterization. It's like, here's a girl, she's standoffish, she loves Tokyo, she this, that, the other, and then the nuances sort of just drip in slowly, where Western animation typically doesn't have that.
It's just kind of lay it all on the floor, and you got to just go from there. Pick up the pieces and go. Here, it's like, we're just going to give you a drop here, drop there, and then, oh shit, we got another cool tidbit. You didn't know that? Oh, this cursed energy, he's got, what, 20 fingers? No, we're getting that in just a second.
And speaking of character and all that stuff, it's actually, and versus characterization, that is what is great about the way we're introduced to Yuji.
Right.
Because Yuji essentially is this genius track and field star. He's inhumanly strong. And nobody knows why. It's really setting up a mystery for it. But he doesn't care to do any of that stuff. He just wants to be in this dumb little paranormal club.
Cult clubs are awesome, by the way.
Yeah, totally. I mean, and it's such a trope in Shonen too, where it's just like, I'm this laid back dude, I don't want to do anything. It's like, holy shit, dude, you just threw a javelin into space. He's like, BRB, gotta go to gardening club.
It is what it is. It's not my passion, but I'm athletic.
I love flowers. That's my thing. It is interesting setting up this whole thing. I mean, obviously there's a deeper layer immediately where he's a caretaker for his grandpa, which we'll get into. But I mean, on top of the teaser, we have another teaser right away where we see a black-haired dude, which we'll name him later because at this point in the story we don't know who he is, and he is at a school to retrieve a cursed thing, and it's not there.
Yeah. And it's funny because it's like, you have to watch it, like I said, you have to watch this multiple times, because the first time you're watching it, it's like some random dude on a cell phone looking for a cursed object. Like, what is going on? Who is this guy? Is this guy a teacher? Is he like some kind of paranormal investigator? Like, what is going on?
Is it like Yu Yu Hakusho, or is there like a secret, or is it more like Chainsaw Man?
Right. Or is it like Haunted Junction, like the comedy, where it's like you don't know what's going on? And this show does have a lot of comedy, but it's great that it's like you're just dropped right in the middle of it.
Dropped right in the middle, and this poor kid that we learn is a kid. This object isn't there, and whoever's on the phone is like, all right, well, just stay there until you find it. Click. And so he's there in the middle of the night at a high school.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'm just abandoned to the wolves. And then we get to meet Yuji. Yeah. We get to meet the club. He's got two buddies, Sasaki and Iguchi. Right. They're doing, I guess, the Japanese equivalent of like a Ouija board.
Exactly.
And trying to figure out who the like class president, what animal that person represents the most. And then right on cue, that guy busts in and he's like, hey, you guys can't be a club. And the manga, he specifically says, I'm kicking you guys out because I want this to be a changing room for the women's track and field team or whatever. And then this one, he points out like, Yuji, you can't be in this club because you've already been signed up for track and field. And he's just like, I didn't sign up for track and field.
I didn't sign up for that. He's like, no, I did it. So
I did it. This totally macho teacher comes in. I did it. I need you to prove yourself. This whole thing, and then challenges him to a shot put contest.
Yeah, he says, he's like, you're the most talented, gifted, natural athlete, which always comes into play a lot of times in shonen, shonen manga, anime. You'll realize like that's the gifted guy. So he comes in. He gets challenged to a javelin throwing competition, or actually not a javelin, but what's a ball called? A shot put.
Oh, shot put. Yeah,
it's a shot put competition.
Oh, but before that, there is a little bit of like truth that they established too, because they're like, our club is important because the rugby field is clearly haunted.
Yes.
People are going to the hospital who are playing on this rugby field, and then they have a whole cockamamie explanation where there was like some salaryman who like got into hella debt and then maybe killed himself because of his debt and is buried in the field. And then it turns out he just died because of ticks.
Yeah, because of ticks. So like they had to just spray the land and it was fine. But it's important to sow the seeds of a little bit of mystery, a little bit of horror in there as well.
Right.
You know, set it up so we
planting the seed for sure that the rugby field is haunted or cursed.
Or at least has enough cursed energy to bring other cursed spirits around or help, you know, be a beacon for that cursed energy.
Right. And we see almost immediately, we see the black-haired dude from before, and he sees this giant, crazy thing just going and sitting on top of a goalpost or something in the rugby field. And he's like, okay, yeah, something is definitely attracting these people to this field. And then we get to see the little competition between Yuji and his teacher.
And of course, his teacher throws it, and long story short,
it's an impressive throw too, by human standards.
But there's something special about Yuji that we don't even know yet. But there's got to be something we don't know about Yuji and his cursed abilities, or maybe it's a family generational lineage thing. I don't know.
They're definitely setting up some mystery because we don't know anything about him. And later, his grandpa says to him, like, "Let me tell you about your parents." And he's like, "I told you I don't care."
Yeah.
And it's like, wait. That must mean something, because why? Because Yuji basically in this moment, he picks up a shot put and throws it like a baseball and smashes into a soccer post.
And destroys the soccer post made of metal, basically. So you know, like, okay, this shit's not natural at all.
Right. I love that there's a little thing where Iguchi and Sasaki are talking about him.
Right.
And she's like, oh yeah, like he, you know, there's a legend about this guy. Like at this certain middle school, he was like the #1 dude. And he also completed an entire course on Ninja Warrior. And he's the reincarnation of Croatian MMA fighter Mirko Krokop.
Yeah. I love it when you're watching an anime and it's a high school and they're like always like, oh, in the background, there's always like the whisper or the hush hush.
Right.
Like, oh, I hear it's a great way to give exposition saying, oh, I hear he's a fastest student. Did you
it's like that with bullies too. Like I heard at this middle school, he stabbed a teacher.
You can't match with that guy. He'll kill you, you know?
Right.
I heard he got transferred here because he got kicked out of his last high school. You
know?
Yeah.
And I love the Mirko Krokop reference. I was like, okay, I wonder if Gege Akutami is a fan of the old Pride promotion in Japan, the MMA promotion where Mirko Krokop was a huge fixture and was hugely popular in Japan. And then Iguchi is quick to point out that Mirko Krokop is still alive. So obviously Yuji can't be that. And then he just kind of waves away, like his friends try to give him an out, like, you know, you're so talented. Why don't you do sports? And it's like, I just need to be done at 5 p.m. I literally don't care what I do. I just want to do something fun. I need to be done by 5 p.m.
That's really sweet of his friends because, you know, never in real life are they like, hey, you need 3 members for the club to be official. They're in the cult club. If he's out of the cult club, then it's no more. So they're literally saying, hey, we're selfless. We're going to sacrifice the occult club. You know, so our other teenage buddy who's talented at other things and gifted athletically can join and be a hero in his own right. And it's like, that would never happen. They're friends. They're actually friends. They say, no, come on. Screw the jocks. Let's do our cult stuff. So,
I think that's a very Japanese sensibility.
Yeah.
It's,
selflessness.
Yeah, that whole thing. It's like, you know what? You have this opportunity. You might as well seize it. And I mean, and going more into the mystery of it, this action of throwing the shot put like a baseball is observed by the black-haired guy who makes a comment, he's unnaturally strong. I wonder if he's like Zenin. And it's like, who the hell is Zenin? You know, setting up so much mystery. Why is he so strong? Who the hell is Zenin? I guess that's the only mystery right now. And then it cuts to Yuji taking care of his grandpa.
A really sweet moment. And this is why anime and manga is so cool, is that they say, hey, we're going to actually take time. We're taking a break here. We're going to pull on your heartstrings a little bit, show that Yuji has a huge heart too.
Right.
So it not only shows that he's a physical presence to not be messed with athletically, but he's also got a great heart and, cares for his grandfather.
Right.
Tell us more about that. Yeah.
His grandpa seems to be sort of grandstanding in this sort of grandiose way, like trying to have like a man's death,
right?
Which Yuji is just kind of like, stop trying to die cool. Stop trying to say stuff. I don't care who my parents are. I don't care about this. And grandpa's like, you need to be in a club. He's like, I am in a club. It's out by 5, so like, it's totally fine for me to take care of you. But then, his grandpa tells him, listen, you need to save people that are close to you. You need to help people that are close to you, and then actually dies. Right. And it's a shock. And
it's super shocking.
Right.
And it's touching. And it's actually a really important moment, too, on multiple levels here. So I'm thinking, we find out later by episode 2 or 3 or 4 that, cursed energy develops like in cemeteries or even hospitals.
Or any place where there's like negative vibes, like schools.
Yeah, schools. Yeah. Anywhere there's emotion that can be, displaced or put somewhere else, that's where curses can evolve and grow. So I'm wondering if maybe if Yuji's presence there that day, like when he's talking, has maybe his spiritual energy is like actually could have pushed him to die sooner or, because he hadn't eaten the finger yet, though, when he was over there. Had he?
No.
No, exactly.
No.
But still, I do think, hey, maybe that was it. He's like, get out of here. I don't want to see you again. And maybe that energy, made him, die sooner. I don't know. This is just speculation, obviously.
Yeah, maybe it has something to do with the family on a whole. There's something about it. There's something about it.
Something we don't know.
We're going to figure this out.
Dan's all like, Kevin. Bad take, but no.
I don't think it's a bad take. I mean, I have no idea where it's going.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't know that the thing that hastened his death was the negativity of being in a nursing home. I mean, he might have. I mean, I don't even think they even mentioned what was wrong with him.
Right?
Is that true? I mean, if I missed it after reading the manga and watching it 3 times, then I'm just an idiot. But I don't remember them saying what was wrong with Grandpa. But he was just on his way out, and he dies, and it's a sad thing. And while, Yuji is signing all the cremation forms and all the different things getting ready, then the black-haired dude shows up and introduces himself as Fushiguro Megumi. He is a first-year student at Jujutsu High School. Yeah. Which are like, Jujutsu, like the grappling martial art again? Like, no. It's different. I think there's an extra syllable for "u" in one of them, and one of them is jujitsu, like the martial art that we know, and one of them means sorcery, like it's like jujitsu or jujutsu. But they're in Japanese. If you Romanize it, it's spelled exactly the same way. Typically, the martial art is spelt with a jitsu instead of a jutsu now because of Brazil taking it and kind of making it their own thing for a while. So that makes it a little bit easier. But yeah, he says, when you passed by me earlier, I felt that you have this crazy cursed thing on you, which is a thing that I'm looking for. And, you and everybody is in danger unless we do this stuff. Can you hand it over right now?
It's like, I don't have it.
Yeah, and not Megumi. Yuji's just like, oh yeah, like whatever, I don't care, but like I don't have it. My senpais have it.
He's like, do you have to pick this moment now? I was like, my grandfather just died, and you're gonna come ask me. He's actually pretty nice about it. But he's like, dude, really? He's like, I'm in mourning.
Yuji's super chill.
Yeah, he's super chill.
Super easygoing. Yeah.
He's like, I'm in mourning right now, but yeah, let's go. I'll help you find this object you're looking for.
Right, because when he gives him the box, there's that thing where. And I love the way it was paneled in the manga. It didn't have quite the impact in the anime where Megumi's like, wait, like it's not in here? Like the energy that I felt was just from the container. And so now there's a ticking clock where, they know that the 2 senpai are going to be meeting at school to remove the seal from whatever the cursed object is. And Megumi and Yuji have to get there super quick to save them.
And very common in, anime is that for some reason, these kids can stay after school without, faculty supervision a lot of times.
Oh yeah.
Or they know they're getting in trouble, but they're always there. They're like
the kids have to clean the schools in Japan. So they can just get in, no problem. It's totally fine.
Hanging out there in the cult club.
Right.
So then they go back to the cult room, right? And then they start Susuke. She starts unraveling the protective spell that's on the cursed item.
And as this stuff is unfurling, not just the seal is unfurling, we're getting a lot of exposition. Like there are over 10,000 unexplained deaths in Japan every year.
Right.
That's caused by curses.
A lot of it.
Like there you go. Boom. Just most of them are caused by curses, whatever. There's also this weird sort of thing where like if you have a cursed object in an area, it protects that place from actual curses until a certain point when the seal weakens, and then it just starts attracting them.
And that's a cool point too, because I was literally going to ask you about that, or we mentioned that. Is that the older it gets, is like the seals get weaker over time. Just like a rubber band after it's been stretched a million times, or anything like that, like a mummy. But it's like if you are a jujutsu sorcerer, let's just do a little side chat here. If you're a Jujutsu sorcerer and you know about these cursed items that are in these special places, and you know the seals that are protecting these, cursed objects that have immense power and evil energy in them, don't you think like every couple of years you'd swing by and give it a nice refresh seal?
I think that Megumi was doing that. I think that he was there he was there to pick it up, and then it was gone, and he didn't realize it was going to be gone, and it was just like, oh shit, because obviously we're going to learn that this curse belongs to a larger curse, the sort of alpha curse, if you will,
of this series for sure.
Yeah, that no one can really defeat, that everyone's afraid of. So like maybe he was just coming to put a fresh seal on it.
Yeah, that's a great way to look. I didn't see it that way. I thought it was like maybe they felt it activated, but maybe he was doing a fresh seal.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the euphemism that they use too, where they're like, like a predator bug will kill all of the smaller bugs until eventually it gets old and weak, and then all the bugs will come and devour it.
Right.
And that's basically the problem with this curse. So Sasaki and Iguchi are taking the seal off. They take it off, and then just immediately the attraction to other curses just explodes. And now there are just a ton of curses in the school roaming the hallways, asking, do you want a receipt?
Right.
Or what time is it? The curses all seem to be sort of a joke, the things that they say based on the things that torment Japanese service industry workers. Yeah. It's like, would you like a receipt with that? What time is it right now? But yeah, they look truly horrific.
They are grotesque.
I would say more so in the manga too.
Right.
I thought that they looked pretty scary in the manga, and in the show it didn't render quite as scary. But I mean,
I wouldn't want to meet one of those things at a hall at midnight and at a school or anywhere.
Oh, totally.
Hell
yeah.
No. These things are creepy as hell. They can just seep through, just like Slimer. They can go through walls and morph all over and do whatever, and they can just go all over. Pretty creepy.
Right. And I mean, both Sasaki and Iguchi are compromised. Like Iguchi emerges from the shadows with just like a curse glommed onto his head, like a face hugger, but like like a head hugger. And so
and there's tons of you could see it was like swarming with curses. This is like in Ghostbusters when the ectoplasmic, the containment unit is like opened and just all hell breaks loose.
Right.
It's kind of what happens with this one curse.
Basically, yeah. And so Yuji and Megumi arrive. Megumi is like, stay here, I got this. And then there's just some awesome animation of him just running up a set of stairs. I was like, damn, like they put a lot just into this run cycle. He makes like a little dog shadow puppet with his hands and calls out the demon dogs.
Demon dog!
And a black and a white dog show up and just start going to town on the curses and eating them and stuff like that. And then Yuji has the quintessential shonen moment where he makes the decision that will forever change his life. It's in Western narrative, we call this the midpoint. It's the point of no return where Yuji could have gone home right here. He could have been like, I'm going to let this kid handle it. But he's just like, you know what? I'm going to save my friends. Yeah. Because my grandpa told me to save people, and he does it, and now he can never go back. Yeah. Now his life is forever altered. He jumps through a window, just punches a curse like in the face.
Yeah, it was a sick animation sequence here. They blew the nut on this one. It's pretty fucking awesome. He comes in and he just sucker punches him right in the face, and he just beats the shit of this curse. And immediately Megumi's like, "What the hell? This guy, he's super strong. I knew that already, but he's fearless as well."
I think he KOs it too, because then the Shikigami, the demon dogs, just start eating it. Yeah, right there.
He knocks that thing out.
And Megumi's just like, "Hey, bro, have you ever seen any of these things before?" He's like, "No."
He's like, "I don't know.
Why aren't you scared of them?"
It's like, should I
be? Yeah. It's like, what's fear?
Yeah. He's like, well, I mean, my friends were in danger. I was like, that's the right thing to do. I'm like, attaboy.
He's just super laid back about everything until a much bigger, scarier curse busts in and just messes Megumi up.
Oh yeah, big time.
Just hits him, smashes him into the wall. Megumi can't do anything, and now Yuji is fighting against this thing for his life.
And this time, and they are actually like, this is when they're moving, I think, through the corridors, and they're getting to the crosswalk that's outside, right?
Right, yeah. Up to the roof.
Up to the roof.
All that stuff. Yeah, it's a great battle sequence.
Yeah, watch it again. It's great.
It's awesome. And then it's revealed, why is this thing attacking? It's because it wants to eat the cursed object because it will give it power. And so Yuji's like, oh, if that's the case, he just eats it.
Yeah, well, it's classic moment. You've seen this before. It's his own middle of Jaws moment. He's like getting choked out by this thing. He's getting attacked, and then he like throws it up, he gulps, opens his mouth, and you're like, how did you? What was your first reaction when you saw him swallow this cursed thousands of years old finger?
They made a meal out of it, no pun intended, in the anime. In the manga, it's much more like just whatever. It's like you can't let him eat the curse. It will give him too much power. That's why he wants it. He's like, oh, okay. He just eats it.
Really?
Like it's kind of played for a joke. It almost feels like. And so I was like, oh, that's funny. That's disgusting. He just literally ate like a decayed finger. But I did like the way in the anime too that it was like the whole thing where he's got it in his mouth anyway. And he just like pops it up, drops, eats it, and stuff like that. And you're like, okay,
disgusting. But yeah,
what the hell's gonna happen? So then he becomes this demon, Ryomen Sukuna, which the episode is named after, and just immediately just obliterates this curse.
Yeah, in a second. And one thing we do notice, it's pretty funny.
I gotta remember to say curse and not demon.
Yeah, me too. This curse, not demon. This curse. It's important to also note that I think Megumi's watching this. Is he knocked out right now, or
he's messed up, but he's conscious.
Because he's commenting. He's doing it like color commentary on the fight right now and stuff. He's like, wow. He's like, you know, odds are if you swallow this thing, you're gonna die.
But maybe in 1 in a million chance.
1 in a million chance. So it's like not just is he, you know, there's something about Yuji we don't not know. It's got to involve some kind of cursed energy. Maybe he has some kind of connection to the past, to his family, maybe he has a cursed bloodline. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's like, you know, Megumi thought he's good as dead. He's like, you're gonna eat that, you're dead. Right. And not only did it not kill him, it made him much stronger.
You're right. And I mean, he becomes the curse, Ryomen Sukuna, who immediately looks out over, I think it's the city of Sendai, and he's just like, I can hear women and children crawling around like maggots. It's going to be a massacre.
Yeah.
And then Yuji's just like, hey, dude, stop talking with my mouth.
Yeah. He's like,
wait, you can control this? Like, yeah. And Yuji just takes back control. Megumi
which is really cool, right?
Yeah, it's great. So now we have another mystery. Why? And this is the mystery that the Jujutsu people establish in episode 2 is that it is weird that he can control Sukuna with no prior training. He can control it. But Megumi doesn't know that, so he is about to blast. He's about to blast Yuji into the other dimension, as Dragon Ball would say.
Throwback.
And then episode 1 is over.
Yeah. And episode 2 amazingly picks up right after where episode 1 ended.
That's right. Episode 2, for myself, Yuji is still in control. Megumi is triggered. I'm gonna kill this guy because I don't know if this is Sukuna or not. And then up pops Gojo Satoru.
Gojo, the guy in the shirt, if you're watching on YouTube, Gojo.
Oh, Satoru, sorry.
Satoru Gojo.
Yeah. Nope. And he's super chill. He's just like, and it's like, wait, aren't you on vacation? He's like, yeah, I was doing stuff. I got some cool, like, you know, these delicious cream puffs, which the author of Jujutsu Kaisen makes like a whole, you know, like a post-chapter thing about why these cream puffs are so good. Talks about them, and I guess Gojo has a sweet tooth, and he's like, yeah, I got these things, blah blah blah. Anyway, did you get the cursed object?
And then what? And I love this moment too. By the way, I was telling Dan off pod. So he gets a cursed object. He's like, well, this guy, he swallowed it, and then literally the funniest thing you could get is this very stone cold look Gojo gives him. He's like, really? And it was just a really good moment because it was like, it's hard in anime to
like facial posing and acting.
Like an actor didn't have to say much to make something impactful. So I just actually wanted to take this moment to give a good shout out to the voice actors, at least the English language version, the dub. Everyone's pretty fantastic, and especially with the comedic timing and the comedic bits, because this show is actually really funny and has tons of really great bits as well. And it's just so funny how Gojo just turns it. You know, he's like, yeah, he just ate that finger. He's like, really? And he was like, he's like, okay. He wasn't alarmed. He wasn't shocked. But he's just like, really? Like, that's
doesn't
weird.
Seem concerned at all. Walks over and is like practically smelling Yuji. It's like, oh yeah.
It was a really fun moment, really cool. And we got to give props to the voice actors because they did a great job. I do think it's a little funny, and just a little side tangent. I told Dan earlier, I thought it was kind of funny that Gojo is, you know, he's their teacher. But the voice is similar in Japanese as well, but this voice is very much that of like a high schooler.
Very youthful,
Very youthful. He doesn't seem like he is a professor, any kind of, you know, elder statesman at the Jujutsu facilities. he just seems like, hey, I'm Gojo, you know? So,
right. Very, very, very youthful. Very. I mean, I would say Megumi is a much more teacher-esque character than Gojo. Like very serious, takes himself very seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
And even though he has like the design similar to Hatake Kakashi, he's very chill, just very, very whatever. Doesn't care at all that Yuji summoned a curse, and even asks him like, "Okay, can you swap? Can you like bring the demon out?" And then he's like, "Okay, yeah, like swap in and then swap back in like 10 seconds."
Right.
And Megumi's like, wait, Sensei, that's not a good idea. And he's like, don't worry, I'm the strongest.
Yeah.
Is what he says. Yeah.
Pretty cool to see Gojo wearing this blindfold, which I have zero idea what it means or what it's for. Does it hold back energy? Is it something special? I mean,
I didn't even know
he can see.
I didn't even know we ever see his eyes until you came over with the shirt today.
Yeah.
So
brand new shirt, just got it for the pod today. So I was like, well, let's check it out. So that's going to be a mystery we don't not know about, and it'll unravel in the future, I'm sure.
Totally, yeah. And then so as he is comforting his student Megumi, Gojo does just kind of beat the crap out of Sukuna.
Yeah, he nails him.
Yeah, he like very carefree, just whatever, beats the crap out of him. Yuji switches back and he's like, that's amazing. Like you can control it. Flick and knocks him out.
I mean, it's funny the show is called Jujutsu Kaisen, but Gojo was doing some very jujitsu-esque moves as well. He was using Sukuna's own like power against him. He was doing a lot of turns, threw him in the building. Really great animation sequences as well. Just a lot of fun to watch that too. Yeah,
it was really cool because now we have a mystery of who is Gojo, why is he this strong? Yeah. What's his past? And then also too, I mean, we're at the very beginning of the story. We're like, how much stronger are these curses going to get? Because at some point, I know that somebody's going to test Gojo's strength in some way. We've got to, because that those are the moments that I live for in shonen storytelling, where it's like this guy that seems invincible is now pushed to his brink, and it's just like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? And they conveniently, for these first 4 episodes, they put Gojo far away from all of the danger.
Exactly.
Because it's like he doesn't need to do it for one. And the more vulnerable people get to do it too, which is also great storytelling. But then eventually we know he's probably going to be in the fray and something is going to happen, and we're going to really see how strong a curse can be. So
not yet though, but we will get there.
Right. So we go back to the beginning of episode 1, where now Yuji. Oh, first, Gojo's like, there's a whole discussion about there's regulation. If somebody's possessed by a curse, they have to be killed immediately.
Right.
And Gojo kind of gives Megumi the choice. Should we kill him or should we take him back? Should we spare him? And Megumi, who seems like a stickler for the rules, is like, I actually kind of want to spare him.
Right.
I want to spare his life. And Gojo's like, okay, cool. We'll take him back. We cut back to that room, which Gojo has been telling the whole story to Yuji the whole time. And basically says, listen, you're an anomaly. You can eat Sukuna. You can control Sukuna. The people who run Jujutsu High are cowards.
Right.
They want to kill Sukuna at all costs. So if we kill you, we kill the curse. But since you can control the curse, you get to decide. Do you die right now with just one piece of Sukuna in you, or there are 20 total pieces?
That's important to note. Yeah.
Yeah, there are 20 pieces. Yeah.
Because he has 4 arms. And that's 5 fingers per arm, 20 fingers he has to absorb if he wants to gain full Sukuna abilities, I guess.
It's setting up a morose quest for the Dragon Balls.
Exactly. This is a 20, so the 7 balls, we're looking for 20 fingers.
Yeah, and once you collect them all, your prize is that you die.
You die, and you're probably already taken over by Sukuna even before that.
Right, totally. So it's a great dilemma right away. It's like, either die here or live a little bit longer. You're going to see some horrific stuff. He warns them. Like, you're going to see some stuff. Like, curses, they mess people up in a really, really horrible way. You're going to see some horrible stuff, and then you're going to die anyway. Yeah. So make your choice.
Just want to live a little bit longer, or just go out now. But another important note Gojo made, was that it's important that, because he has a part of Sukuna in him, he becomes like basically a radar himself. So he
he mentions this later at the school, but you're right. Yeah. So he is it's fine. Yeah, he becomes a radar.
Yeah, he basically says, hey, no, we actually kind of do need you, because now that you've actually ingested him and he hasn't taken over your body yet and completely, you can probably help us find him, because he's going to be searching for his other fingers.
Right.
So he's essentially his own Dragon Radar.
He's a Dragon Radar, and he is the Dragon Balls, and he is Shenlong, and it's all very morose and bad. Yeah, and so then, a little bit happens. He visits his senpais in the hospital.
Right.
He mulls it over. He cremates his grandpa, and then I've never seen what a Japanese cremation looks like, but that whole thing where he was picking the bones out of the dust, I was like, is that a thing?
Yeah, I was like, that was a great moment too. I've seen some things. I've not seen it, but I've dealt with family members who have been cremated and stuff. But I've never got to see that process. And just for him to like, maybe it is a closure thing. I don't really know. I thought most of the time it was just all ash, but I didn't realize there was some bone in there. They just he got to pick out, and so it was
and
really,
put in an urn. Yeah, he saved the bones.
It was a very touching moment because it's like, oh wow, maybe in a way that he was mature. He handled it with grace, but it's also something that might give him a little bit of closure in his relationship a little bit.
As we're talking about this, I'm wondering, is this a Japanese thing or is this a story thing? Yeah. Because we've already established there's a mystery with Yuji. There's a mystery about his family, and his grandpa is dead. Now he has pieces of his grandpa collected.
Right.
Is he going to eat his bones?
I don't know. But he does eat something else at the crematorium, right?
He does. He makes the decision. He gets the second finger of Sukuna. He eats it. He's able to control it, and now we're off to the races. Now the story can begin.
But we know that he's getting more powerful too, just from that every finger. Like, oh shit! I was like, there's going to be a limit to Yuji's abilities to contain him, unless maybe Yuji is a vessel.
Right?
Like we don't know. That's what I'm going to guess, something like that. But one more point I want to ask you real quick. So when you saw Yuji go visit his friends, his colleagues, his high school buddies, Sasuke, do you think there's a little love interest there?
I think she has a crush on him.
I think she has a crush on him.
I don't know. I don't know if it's like an admiration crush. I feel like much like there are so many different words for love, and is it the Eskimo language?
Right.
I forget. Or no. There's one language where there's like a bunch of different words for love, but I've noticed in my consumption of Japanese media that there seems to be different degrees of crushes somebody can have on somebody, and they're not always explicitly romantic, but I definitely got that vibe even from episode 1 when she was just kind of like, you don't have to be in our club. You can go be a track star. It's fine.
Yeah, it's whatever, man. But
yeah, but there's a crush there.
There's a crush there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what kind. Maybe, I mean, she seems embarrassed. Like, you're not going to believe me, but we were attacked by monsters and stuff like that. Like, it's going to sound crazy.
And he's like, nope, not at all.
And he's just like, no, I believe you. And goodbye forever.
Yeah.
Just leaves.
They'll be back, I feel. I don't know, but I have a good feeling they'll be back.
Oh, I think they're done.
You think they're done?
Sasaki Noguchi, I think they're done, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think they're gonna run it. Okay, we'll put it on the boards. So
he's never going back to that high school. Why would they have a need to appear?
I mean, something's gonna happen. I mean, who knows? It's a huge story.
I feel like for me, this narrative, he is being ripped away from his life to go to like there's almost parallels with like Hero Academy, with like My Hero Academia and stuff like that. Kind of Hogwarts because it's in the mountains. The high school looks sick. Yeah. It's in the mountains. It looks awesome. I love the design of the high school, and it's also funny how big it is for how underpopulated it is. Like Gojo mentions that there are only 3 first-year students, including Megumi and Yuji.
Yeah. It's like the Professor Xavier School for the gifted children.
Right, but with very low enrollment.
Yeah, with low enrollment. It's like, we have a $200 million mansion of facilities, and we have 10 students.
It's like, who funds this?
Where's this coming from?
Yeah, who pays the faculty?
Yeah.
Like, how does this work? So,
and they also mention when they go, because you do get a really cool shot of Jujutsu High in Tokyo, right?
I think is it? Oh, it is in Tokyo.
Yeah, it's in Tokyo.
It's in the Tokyo metropolitan area. Yeah.
So they go there, and you get a really cool exterior shot. Wide angle exterior shot of like the whole facility. It's freaking massive.
Yeah.
It's huge.
It's huge. It's beautiful. And we're starting to see, you mentioned that Sukuna's getting stronger with each finger that Yuji eats. And now his like face is starting to pop out.
Yeah, it can go
and talk crap, much like the little hand demon and Vampire Hunter D.
Yeah.
If anybody remembers those movies. Yep. Yeah.
It's like, it's not a tumor.
Yeah, he's popping out just like in the cover of the story. Sukuna's popping out, he's talking crap.
Yeah.
But we're not totally into the story yet because Yuji has one more test, is that he has to prove himself to the principal of Jujutsu High that he deserves to go there.
Okay, so tell us what happens next.
So he doesn't impress the principal.
Yeah.
The principal he meets and he's working on these cute little doll things, and he even has this thing like, this guy's working on these cute things.
What is this old? They call him an old guy, Masamichi Yaga, the principal. Looks like he's like maybe 45, and he makes it sound like he's the oldest man in the world.
Yeah, he's a sketchy dude. He looks like he's a former Yakuza.
Yeah, he looks like he's in some kind of rival gang.
Yeah, he's just like making these cute little dolls. And Yuji introduces himself in the funny way. He's like, hey, what's up? I'm the type of dude who loves Jennifer Lawrence.
Dating Jennifer Lawrence, yes.
Yeah.
I was wondering if that was in the sub version too, because I was like, that's hilarious. I was like,
it's in the manga too. Yeah.
Okay, so, hi, Yuji Itadori. I like, I like.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of guy that likes Jennifer Lawrence. I'm like, okay, well, perfect.
And the test seems like it's designed to fail because the guy's like, well, why do you want to be a student here? And he's like, well, I want to stop people from dying because the curses are killing people.
Not good enough.
Principal's like, people die every day.
Yeah.
Like you're like you aren't being honest enough. And then one of the little dolls that looks like a bear crossed with a kappa, which is like a Japanese like water sprite.
It looks like Slimer from Ghostbusters in a lot of ways too.
Yeah, like a little chunky. Yeah. It's cute. It's like doing these little dances and stuff like that, and it's fighting with Yuji.
Beating the shit out of him, kinda, yeah.
Yeah, while Yuji's trying to explain, like, no, like I do. Like it's like no, it has to be something else. Mm-hmm. It has to be something else. And eventually he's just like, no, like I really want to help people. I promised my grandpa. And it's like, well, if you blame your grandpa, you're going to curse him. You're going to curse his memory. Like, you can't blame... You're putting your life at risk. You're going to see horrible, horrible things. You can't curse your grandpa.
No.
And it's just like, but I can do this right now.
And that's a great moment you just mentioned, too, about the cursing his grandpa. How does cursing really work? Because like his grandpa's already dead, so his spirit, is it going to be cursed in the afterlife already?
I think I think like very vaguely, curses are born from just negative energy.
Right.
It's like if I'm like, you know what, Kevin, like if you broke your leg and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna run 20 miles to like raise money to like heal your leg or something, and then on mile 5 I'm like, fuck Kevin, why is he making me run so much or whatever? That negative energy, it now curses you.
Okay, but if you're dead though, that's what I'm saying. Like, so the negative energy, how will that be from his grandfather? You know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how is it going to curse his grandfather? Who's already dead?
I guess
that's my thing.
Are dead people like not 100% dead?
Yeah, is it just like their spirit in the afterlife is going to be cursed because of what you're doing on Earth now? I don't know. That might play a part in the future.
It might, yeah. I mean, I know that in ghost mythology around the world, there is this idea that, you know, hauntings occur in places where very traumatic things occur.
Right.
Especially if something like one of the most famous ghost stories in Japan, like this servant girl who was like thrown into a well when she died by her master, and then like tormented the master by crawling out of the well every night and like crawling over to like torture him, which is where the image from Ringu comes.
Ring.
And all that stuff. So I mean, it could be something where it's like you're dead, but you don't have peace if you're cursed after you're dead.
Could be something like that.
Something like that. Don't spoil it, guys, please.
Yeah, don't spoil it for us, but just you can laugh.
For the love of God.
That's fine.
And speaking again of jujitsu, the way that Yuji gets the upper hand on this doll is he actually does a jujitsu move, a rear naked chokehold on this doll.
And it
gets him in. It's like, oh, there it is. There's the jujitsu. Yeah. Now we know why we're at Jujutsu High.
Exactly.
And he ends up impressing the principal. The principal's like, okay, you can go here. The doll gets in another punch because the principal forgets to call it off. It's like, oh, sorry, I forgot to tell it not to try to kill you anymore.
Yeah. So an interesting introduction to our new principal.
Right. Oh, we get to see Yuji's room, which he really loves. Like this
huge,
big studio apartment with this beautiful view of the city and the mountains and all that stuff. And Gojo being kind of a scamp is like, all right, so like, do you want to just wait here and me and Megumi will take care of everything? And Yuji has this fun little fantasy of Megumi coming back all beat up, like, here, I got you another finger.
Got your finger, take it. It's like, no. But you know, Yuji being Yuji says that no, of course, he wants to be responsible and at least help do his part.
Right. And Gojo's like, well, you didn't really have a choice because actually you're a radar. Like, because you have Sukuna and you have the radar. And so then they're heading to Tokyo.
Right.
And I love too, like the way that these episodes are, which is what's driving me crazy. You know, I've watched these episodes now 3 times. I haven't watched further because I wanted to be fresh for this, but I need to know more because every single episode leads with the beginning of the next episode. It's very bingeable, this show.
It's bingeable as hell, and we're only doing 4 per pod. So we're not, you know, we watched these episodes multiple times over the last week and a half, and we're like ready to go forward. But, you know, I was like, hey, can we do, you know, 5 through 8? And, you know, Dan says use discipline, Kevin. So we are being disciplined, and we haven't watched ahead since we've recorded this pod.
Which is perfect because we've already said a lot for just 2 episodes. We're at the end of this episode. Megumi, Gojo, and Yuji are all in Tokyo. They're waiting for the 3rd first year, the only other first year at this school. And then we see...
The 3rd child? No.
Oh, yeah. Bum, bum, bum.
Even though Asuka's the 2nd child, right?
She's the 2nd child.
She's the 2nd child. 3rd child is Shinji. So,
Shinji, that's right. Rei is the first child, yeah. And then Toji is the 4th child.
Exactly. Oh God, poor Toji. We'll do that sometime.
Why didn't he ever get to pilot an Evangelion? He was on the cover of End of Evangelion in his little like plug suit. He never got to do it. But we see the 3rd child, if you will, on the Shinkansen, the bullet train, eating sushi, reading a magazine, and we get our first glimpse of her personality. She's like, I hope I can get scouted by Stardust while I'm in Tokyo. Yeah. And then we get to see, for the first time, the ending animation sequence of the show. Which I gotta say, I forgot to say, the intro was great.
Yeah.
Intro was fantastic, season 1.
High octane.
The ending is amazing. I love the animation in the ending, where everyone's...
The marker animation.
Oh, yeah. So good. Like, the pastels, like, everybody's dancing. It's fun.
Moving around.
I don't think this is the first episode where they do the jujutsu stroll at the end, where they do like a little slice of life thing. I think it just goes straight into episode 3, which is called Girl of Steel.
Who is this Girl of Steel?
It's Asuka Langley Shoryu.
no, it's Nobara. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Nobara. So they're in Harajuku. Yuji now has this kit on. It's a school kit. It looks similar to Megumi's, but it's got like a red hood. And he even asks Gojo when he shows up, it's like, oh, hey, like, why is my thing different? And Gojo's like, oh, you can customize your school outfits. Yeah. And he's like, well, I didn't put in any requests. And Gojo's like, oh, no, I got you, dude. I did that for you.
Nice fit.
And Megumi, very annoyedly, is just like, just get used to this. Gojo Sensei does this shit all the time.
And it's funny how they were openly talking shit about each other, like, and they don't get mad. Like Gojo's like, hey, that's disrespectful, but he's like, they're joking around, but at the same time, it's not too serious. And even with the principal in the last episode,
Right. There may be a subtle Dragon Ball reference here that you may have missed if you watch the English version. So it's implied throughout that both Yuji and Nobara are country bumpkins. Like he's from Sendai, she's from way deep in the country, and so they talk like country people. And what other famous character from shonen manga and anime is a country bumpkin?
Goku?
That's right.
Yeah.
There's a moment where after he finds out about the hood thing in Japanese, where he doesn't have like a very high pitched voice, but he kind of just like looks at it and he's so easygoing. He goes, Maika, like just kind of says it like, oh well, like Maika, and he says it like in this upward inflection, and I'm pretty sure it's that wording and the exact same way at the end of the Peel-Off arc when Goku finds out that his tail is gone.
Yeah.
And he briefly runs around. He's like, my tail. He's like, oh, Maika. And then everyone just falls over, like whatever. Maybe it's just a common expression in the country. I'm sure that might be it. But for me, when I heard that, I was like, oh, that reminds me of Goku. So
yeah, I kind of missed that little moment. So way to watch that again.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
And then we see this like creepy old dude following around a high school girl. It's like, hey, are you on the clock right now?
Yeah.
Can I talk to you about being a model? And she's just like, get out of here, you creepy dude. And then this very aggressive voice is like, hey, what about me?
Yeah. Can I be your model?
He's like, I'm very busy right now. And she grabs him and is like, hey, come on, what about me?
Right.
Be honest with me. Give it to me straight. Yeah. He's just like trying to like claw his way away.
Yeah. And the boys were just sitting there back, like looking at her like, oh yeah, this is the one, huh?
Right.
Of course.
And then they meet her, and her introduction is like, "Hey guys, rejoice! I am the girl in your group."
Yeah, I mean, this is a perfect simile for like Asuka. It really is. Like even the introduction. If you're watched Evangelion, which we haven't even done on our pods yet, but they're on the the military craft, the Nerve, USS, whatever, Warcraft.
Transporting Unit 2
to Tokyo. And you see the same bombastic, hey, in your face, I'm in charge kind of situation. And he's like, I was like, that's how I knew it was, inspiration from Evangelion a little bit. Because she's like a dead ringer for Asuka, which is a great character because she's very nuanced, a lot going on there.
Right.
And I can tell that, this girl's got quite a past too that we haven't got into. But,
yeah, I mean, we crack into it a little bit in this episode. She's got a little bit of mystery, but she's absolutely a Tokyo simp.
Yeah,
and so is Yuji because they're both from the country. They love Tokyo. Yeah. They want to do all the Tokyo stuff.
Sushi.
They want to argue over what Tokyo things to do. But yeah, she introduces herself. I'm the girl in the group, and then Yuji and Megumi introduce each other, and she has these appraisals of them.
Right,
she's like, he looks like a potato. He looks like the type of dude who lights seagulls on fire.
No, well, in my version, in the English dub, they said that Yuji looks like the kind of guy who ate his own boogers as a kid.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I laughed out loud on that part. That was really funny. And then Megumi just introduced himself. He says, he just said, I think he said Megumi. And when it was being introduced, she's like, "Oh, you're that too cool for school, the kind of guy who just says his name and that's it. Like, no, thank you, no, hey,
right.
How are you?" Like,
he probably lights seagulls on fire for fun. Is this if someone could let us know, is this like a thing that wayward youth do in Japan? Is light seagulls on fire?
I hope not.
Because can you imagine? It's like, oh hey, how'd your date go? Terrible.
Yeah.
Another seagull burner.
I love that line because I think it's just the most random ass thing you could ever say, and it works for the situation. I mean, it was funny as hell.
It made me laugh because it seemed so non sequitur. Yeah. I'm like, who the hell lights seagulls on fire?
and the fact that that's where her mind goes, it's like, okay, this girl's twisted, man.
Right. And so when Gojo's like, all right, time to have a day in Tokyo. And both Yuji and Nobara are super happy. And then even Gojo's like, we're going to Roppongi, which is the party district of Tokyo. It's like where all the great clubs are. It's a really, really nice place. If you go to Tokyo, you got to go to Roppongi, amongst other places. Everyone's super stoked. But then, no, they're not going to Roppongi. Nope. They go to this shitty building, like a hollow concrete building. Yeah.
And the cursed energy is just like fuming out of this building.
Oh yeah.
I mean, dark black, dark blue. They can tell like, oh man, this is not the place you want to be.
Yeah, it looks like it's been tinted and fumigated with dark energy, which is hilarious. Yeah, it looks really messed up. And Gojo just immediately like, you kids handle this one. Megumi, you stand back because you're still injured.
Sit this one out.
It's like, I want to see what you kids can do. And by the way, Yuji, you can't use Sukuna because if you do, it's gonna kill the curse and also every human in the area. So you can't do it. Like, you got to show me what you can do without it.
But I'll give you a cursed knife instead, which might be helpful.
He gives him that dope knife.
Yeah, it's a sick knife. It's like a mini broadsword, but like a knife, like a butcher knife. Basically like a big butcher knife.
Right.
Yeah, pretty cool.
So yeah, they go in, they kind of divide and conquer because they're not getting along.
Yep.
Much like Shinji and
Shinji and Asuka.
Although Yuji is by no means a Shinji. He's by no means a Shinji.
He's way more Toji than Shinji, actually.
And then he gets attacked. He gets to use the knife, and he's much more just like, oh, okay, cool. Like I can do this. Even like when he kills it, he's like, I got some pretty sweet moves.
He whips that knife out, and he's doing it. He just goes right to town.
Right.
He's like you're Michael Jordan right there, just a perfect athlete, great fighter, just killing it.
Right. And meanwhile, Nobara goes into a room full of mannequins.
Creepy, right? What do you?
Are you creeped out by mannequins?
I fucking like if it's dark like that and there's 12 mannequins or you're in an attic like that. I hate that shit. I'm not like deathly scared, but like that would creep me the fuck out. You know? Like,
I could see that. Yeah. It wasn't like a creepy image to me in that way, but like if you say that, if I'm thinking about in real life, if I'm in a concrete building and it's in the shadows and there are just a bunch of pale human-esque forms in the dark.
It's on the other side of the room. It's dark in there. There's nothing but, it's dilapidated building. There's no one in there. Right. No other stuff. And you just see like 15 mannequins on the wall. And you're like, at least one of those has a demon cursed. Is a cursed spirit?
Yes, it's not a demon. It's not a devil. This ain't Chainsaw Man. It ain't Demon Slayer. It's a curse.
It's a curse. Has a curse in it.
And she kind of demands, like, okay, I know it's one of you. That's like, all right, I got him.
I think that one in the middle.
Right. And then she just, hammers a nail at it. And
Which is a super cool weapon, by the way.
Right.
So we do find out here that, we already found out the sword is cursed. And, people have different abilities that we're finding out. But we're also learning that, different characters have different weapons that are imbued with cursed energy as well.
Right.
That help fight off these spirits.
And a great but therefore too in the storytelling is that we know that Nobara can handle herself.
Yeah.
She obviously has experience using cursed weapons to fight curses, but then it cuts back to the expository but therefore from Gojo where he's like, yeah, no, she can handle herself and Yuji's pretty strong, but the point of this is you got to show them that curses in Tokyo are on another level.
Yes, because they said, just like we mentioned in the first episode, just like Sukuna's first finger is like they kind of, the more people, the more negative emotions you're going to get in a compact area means more cursed energy, which means even more strong curses.
Right.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty awesome. I mean, and then almost on cue, then there's a little kid who's hiding in the dark who gets taken over by, and the manga, this thing looks terrifying.
Yeah.
Like it is a scary, like bushy, weird curse. It's very.
Even the anime, it's pretty damn creepy, man.
It looks it almost looks like a Miyazaki design too. Like very Miyazaki in design.
Big eyes bulging out.
Yeah, and it's about to slit this kid's throat. So now Nobara has a dilemma of like, okay, well, do I let the kid die and save myself, or do I surrender and both of us die? And she makes every pragmatic argument for why she should let the kid die, but then she surrenders.
Yeah. But she also, that's such a good point that she says, you know what? He's like, she does the right thing. But there was a moment, I think, did you have the same feeling of, wow, like, she might just do it anyway?
And that was what was great about characterization versus character is that what she believes and what she projects is that, if we're both going to die anyway, it's better if just one of us dies. Right. The kid dies. He's a casualty of war.
Very much a nihilist view.
Exactly. Yeah. But then she can't help but save the kid.
Right.
Even though it might put her in danger, even though it might get her killed, she can't help but do that. So it's like, okay, there's some depth there.
She did the right thing, and there was a moment where I was like, I don't know if she really will. I mean, true is like, because I just met the character. I've seen crazy shit in anime before. Like I wouldn't be surprised if she's like, oh fuck, I'll kill you both. I'm like, what?
Spike Spiegel would have let the kid die.
Yeah, Spike would have. Yeah,
just go ahead, kill the kid.
Kill the kid. No,
I don't care.
But another one more important thing we need to note about this scene is that the curse is smart. Like some different curses they use people differently, or they use their energy differently. He does mention that, she mentions in the exposition form that, oh wow, this curse is a weaker curse for as far as like physical strength.
Right.
So he knows he has to play using this kid as a pawn because he doesn't have the strength to beat her, but he's going to prey on her human instincts to protect and save the child and use the kid as a human shield.
Right.
So very interesting to note that like these curses, they're not always these brainless things that you see, besides the special grade curses,
If they can't beat you in a fight, they'll force a dilemma on you that could give them an upper hand.
That's what they mentioned. Thank you for putting that in one sentence.
That was great. I completely forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me. And they'll force a cruel choice on you, is I think what they say. Yeah, which is, so she gives up. Yuji bursts through the wall, punches, and he's like, "Oh shit, I missed!" And just comes through like a 2-foot concrete wall, just punches through.
Didn't hurt him at all.
Yeah,
and it wasn't Sukuna that did that either. That's the thing.
That's his raw strength.
That's raw strength.
Right.
So there's something up with this dude that we don't know, but if he can punch through 2-foot concrete walls,
it's that Mirko Crow Cop energy.
Something's going on there, right?
Yeah, he busts through, the curse panics. Flees, and then Nobara busts out a voodoo doll.
Ugh.
And the curse busts out the window. Megumi's like, all right, I'm about to get my dogs out. And Gojo's like, no.
Let him finish.
Yeah. And then she hammers into the heart of the voodoo doll with a piece of the curse. And then his heart explodes, and then he just dissolves. Clean, end of story.
Yeah, and job well done.
Right. Yeah. And so... yeah, they have a little talk about what their motivations are. Right. I should mention too, I didn't just watch the subtitled version. It's at the time of the record, it's both on Netflix and Crunchyroll. I watched both the Netflix version and the Crunchyroll version The subtitles and the translation were different for both, and but it was interesting. I love the thing where, she tells him she tells him why she's doing it, and then he just kind of has this reaction. It's like, well, I guess we all have our reasons for doing things. And then she gets mad. She gets a total Asuka moment. It's like, all right, that's all you get. Yeah. That's the only human, that's the only humanity of me that you get.
We're even, okay? Thank you.
Right.
Without saying thank you. Yeah.
It's like you saved me, and I told you a little bit about myself. Yeah. Now the ledger is balanced.
Exactly.
So
that's the end of that episode, right?
Pretty much. There is a teaser for what is going to come next. So basically, there is a juvenile detention center that where there is a curse that is happening that 3 first years were dispatched, and then one of them died.
Dead.
Now we know that there are only 3 first years in the show. So I'm like, is this a flash forward to a report that happened before? Are we getting a little teaser that one of them is about to die? Where they're going into.
That's what I thought. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Well, I was wondering, because I forgot that there was the total tally of first years was only 3 kids.
Right.
So I was like, oh, did one of them already die? And now Gojo's group has to go in and kind of clean up. The kid with Sukuna in him. Obviously, Fushiguro Megumi is very experienced. Nobara also has a ton of experience. Yeah. So, I mean, it's setting up this mystery right after... There's like a little bit of like a group fun thing too, where they're all kind of discussing what they're going to do in Tokyo.
Yeah, obviously, it revolves around getting good food and having fun.
Getting good food, where they're going to go. They're kind of poking fun at Megumi. They're talking about the different ways that each of them uses the phone.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's in the stroll. It's like oh yeah, like when you use the phone. Oh no, that's later. That's in the stroll. Getting ahead of myself. But yeah, they make fun of Megumi. And they eventually settle on, I think it's revolving sushi is where they're gonna go, which is fantastic. Awesome. Yeah, it's great. And then we're left with they go to a place called Splendid Sushi.
Yeah.
And then that is the end of episode 3. And now we're on the final episode of this pod, which is episode 4, Curse Womb Must Die.
Curse Womb. And I was like, what the hell does this mean? And then you actually do see the cursed womb. It is like a womb, right? Like, what is this cursed womb? And the funny thing is, like, there's a cursed womb part 2, episode 5, which we haven't watched yet.
Right.
So it's like, this is gonna be fun. Is this your favorite episode so far? Is episode 4 your favorite, or 1, or do you have a favorite so far?
I don't know if I have a favorite so far.
Yeah.
I did really like the first chapter of the book.
Right.
I was just thinking, this is the kind of setup that hooks me.
Right. This is great.
Yeah. Like I really like the setup. I really like you're ticking all these boxes to make me care about these characters and also to make me afraid for them.
Yeah, and they're seeding a lot of mystery in these 4 episodes, a lot of setup, a lot of really important little details that we don't even know might be important later. But I'm having a good time. Adding some mystery and wondering what's going to happen.
Right.
But I'll tell you this real quick before we get into the episode. I think episode 4 is my favorite.
Okay. I can see that. Yeah.
I like number 1 a lot too, but I think episode 4 is just like, I think it's pretty sick because I cannot wait to watch episode 5. So
episode 4 is now when the foot is floored to the floor, and now we're just going as fast as we can.
Exactly.
Yeah. We're going now like, oh, this is a glimpse of what is to come. Like what the stakes are for the story as a whole. There's a little bit of exposition right at the top again, where we learn that there are people called windows, and windows cannot do sorcery, they cannot do jujitsu, but they can see curses.
Right.
And so the Jujutsu League or whatever runs the school, they have windows that spotted a curse at this juvenile detention center and basically took over and stuff like that. And again, just like the first episode, it is a special grade curse.
No, okay, yeah, special grade. So they do a really good exposition here or later, maybe later.
It's right here.
It's right here. Okay,
literally right here. Yeah.
I'll let you do this, Dan, but this is so important. I have no idea yet, but I'm so glad they did a great breakdown. Thank you for doing some good exposition on this one because I didn't realize that there were 5 different layers to a curse.
They kind of speed through it too, yeah. So they're like okay. There's a grade 4, you could kill it with a baseball bat. Grade 3, a handgun should be good. Grade 2, you might need a shotgun. Grade 1, maybe a tank would do something. And then they're like, a special grade would require a cluster bombing.
Yeah.
Like just a sane amount of bombs need to be dropped to kill it.
Possibly.
Yeah, that's right.
Possibly kill it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, and then we also immediately, as if to really hit home the stakes and let you know that this is going to be a ride, they're like, Gojo isn't here today. Gojo's got stuff to do. He doesn't have time to hang out with first years, so he's not here today. You guys are in there on your own. And then the dude who's kind of giving this assignment to them tells them, by the way, do not try to fight a special grade curse.
Right.
If you see it, run or die.
Yeah, he's like, if you see it, do not fight, do not engage. He's like, get out of there as quick as possible because he's like, you will die. Oh, it was Kiyotaka Ijichi.
Is that him? That dude looks younger than the guy.
I think that's him. We're looking at a wiki here for the character.
We are looking at a wiki. Yeah, I should have written his name down, but I think it's
Kiyotaka. Because he's on his cell phone. He's always on his damn cell phone.
He is on a cell phone. But then again, Megumi's also always on a cell phone with Gojo. So we'll see.
We'll figure it out.
Hey, guys, comment what is the name of the guy who gives them the assignment. Is it right? Is it this Ichichi Kiyotaka or is it somebody else?
Yeah, I think it's him.
Okay. So then we get this, all the other things where this mom runs up because this is a juvenile detention center and it was visitor day. And this dude named Tadashi's mom is like, where's my son? Where's Tadashi? Where's all this stuff? So we're getting just pelted with the stakes of what is about to happen here.
Tough moment. Really tough.
Yeah.
Kind of heavy.
There's a cool moment where the guy puts up a veil, so that the outside world can't see.
Yeah.
It just kind of blankets everything. Megumi summons the dogs again, which Yuji has like a cool moment with the dogs. He's like, oh, these dogs are great. I love these dogs. He's petting them and stuff like that. And then they learn pretty quickly once they get inside that the curse can change the layout of the inside of the building.
Yes, that's pretty cool. And you that's kind of common in other things too. I've seen it in film and television before and other animes as well, where it kind of can take over the area that it's inhabiting as well and kind of change it to its own will.
I did see an episode of Demon Slayer where there was a demon that could do that. I think he could just change the directionality of a room with a drum.
Great episode, yes.
Yeah. And that was pretty cool. I was
Super cool.
Yeah, I need to get on it. I know.
Got to get on it. Well, I got to get on Naruto, so I'm behind on my thing too.
Right, but as they progress further, they find a bunch of, again, these are juvenile inmates.
Yes. So, okay, I got to take 1 second here too to ask you.
Yeah.
The character designs for these juvenile inmates, they look like they're 50 years old.
They do.
Is this? Yeah. It's like I was like, wait, how is this a juvenile detention center when these guys have it looks like they had facial hair or they would look like they're 30, like bags under their eyes. I mean, they're dead, obviously, most of them. But I wonder if it was intentional by the studio or by Mappa.
You have to make them look older so we don't see ripped up children.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. So I'm assuming that's what it was because it's going to be brutal. But it was like, as a guys, that's not a kid.
So. Yeah, it doesn't look like a kid, but if it is a kid, it's just been torn to pieces.
I think mom saw that too, right?
Right. Yeah. Which Yuji wants to take. He finds out that this one is Tadashi. This is the one the mom came to see. Mm-hmm. So her kid is dead. Ugh. Yuji wants to take the kid with, and Megumi's like, nope, leave it here. And he's like, no, we got to take it because the rooms are going to change and we might not be able to find it later. Megumi's like, I didn't say we were coming back and to find it later. I said we're going to leave it.
Yeah.
And then Yuji's pissed off, like, what are you talking about? We told the mom that we would do this. And Megumi's done his research. Yeah. He's like, this guy ran over and killed a girl on his second offense, driving maybe under the influence without a license. Yeah. Like he's done this multiple times. Like he would have never reformed. Mm-hmm. So this whole thing happens, and as they argue, Nobara just gets sucked into the floor.
Yes. Yeah. This is a crazy episode. Tons of curses coming at you.
Right. She's sucked into the floor. He's like, crap, where are my dogs? Looks over. The white dog is dead.
Already dead.
Yeah, just smash into the wall.
And it's not even just like, oh, where is it? It's like, cut, boom, dead.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, holy shit.
It all happened quietly. Like, I put a crater in the wall. Yeah.
While these two guys, while Yuji and Megumi were talking, for that instant, all this shit was already going down around them. So it just really raises the stakes to the next level because he's like, oh God. He's like, we didn't even realize that. And we're here trying to trying to get to the bottom of what kind of curse this is, even if it is a special grade, and what's happening. They look around and everyone's dead or gone.
Yeah.
So
immediately, and then also the curse is just right in between them.
Yeah.
And Yuji gets his hand cut off.
Yeah.
Immediately. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, did he cut his own hand off on or own finger off, or was that something else?
No, I think the curse did.
Curse
did.
did.
Yeah.
And are we talking about the special grade curse right now?
It's the special grade curse. Yeah.
This guy's creepy as hell. He looks like Abe Sibian from the Hellboy, kind of, actually.
Oh yeah,
kind
of.
That's kind of my reference point, was like Abe Sibian, the amphibious aquatic creature who is inspiration from the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Right.
Originally. So he has that vibe for sure. And
the kind of like asynchronous eyeballs and stuff like that.
And he's got that weird.
He like moves around in this very jelly fluid way.
He's kind of jacked, you know. He's got a more human-like body, 2 arms, 2 legs, and he looks hella dangerous, right?
Yeah, and then there was a little bit of a confusing thing where there's sort of like time cuts between Megumi and Yuji making a plan of how they're going to handle this thing versus Megumi just running with the black dog trying to find Nobara to rescue her to get her out. Yeah. But basically what they settle on...
It's a time jump, actually. Yeah.
It is a time jump. And I was remarking, there's great animation in this show throughout. But in particular, like there's another sequence where Megumi is just running. Nothing is happening, and the run cycle looks insane. Yeah. I was like, dude, they're spending so much money on just Megumi running. Like, it's crazy.
Probably in the editing office, like, no, we spent 20 grand on that shot. We're doing it again.
Yeah.
I mean, that one.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking, like, this is an adaptation of a shonen manga, so the production schedule can't be that long. I really hope that the animators got paid well and had a good production schedule. I hope that this wasn't one of those things you hear about all the time with just an insane production schedule where people had to go to the hospital. They had insane deadlines and stuff just wasn't completed on time or whatever. Everything looks complete so far, but it's also, I guess, the post-air release of everything. Yeah. So it looks great. I just hope they had enough room to work because damn, the animation is crazy good.
Fantastic animation.
But yeah, tell us about what the plan is. How are they going to rescue Nobara and how are they going to contend with this special grade demon?
Dude, so I can't even remember. I mean, like all the plot points, details. But here's what I do remember. Like you're gonna have to might have to go into better detail there. But
I didn't write it down. No, sorry.
Okay. So Nobara, Megumi goes to look for Nobara. I know that. And Yuji's supposed to just get out of there. Basically just got out of there, but he can't, right? He can't escape.
It's the Piccolo thing because it's the Piccolo thing with Raditz because he says like, look at this thing, it's having fun.
Yes.
He's having fun. He's torturing us. He's going to kill us and kill everybody if we let him go. But I can use Sukuna.
Yes.
But I don't want you guys to die. So you go get Nobara, get outside, and then send me some kind of special signal.
Exactly, and then I'll get out when I can get out.
Right.
And this is a great moment here because this episode is so awesome. Sorry I said I couldn't remember. Now I kind of remember some more details. But it's great because, Yuji doesn't really have the control that he thought he had over Sukuna.
No.
He doesn't have the ability to call him at will and call him forth.
Or definitely not use his power because he gets his fingers ripped off of his other hand.
So this is a brutal sequence, by the way. So this special grade demon who they realize, like, oh God, this guy's no one to fuck with because he just starts destroying Yuji. I'm talking, he cuts his fingers off. Does he cut another limb off or he cuts his hand off?
Well, the hand is gone. The fingers are gone.
Fingers are gone.
He's smashing him around. So he's completely neutralized whatever natural strength Yuji has.
He's gone. I was like, this guy is like good as dead, basically. You're thinking, no way he's getting out of this one on his own.
But then Megumi gets Nobara out. He has the dog howl. So then Yuji switches.
Right. So then he switches.
He switches the Sakuna.
But he switches. But this is the first time where Sukuna and Yuji they have back and forth, they fight, and this is very common. And even Spider-Man, stuff like that with the symbiote, you get these really great narrative dynamic to where you've got the yin and the yang to this character, and Sukuna's like he's like fuck this Yuji guy, you can join me. Talks to the special grade demon.
Hey, he's like, let's kill all those kids.
He's like, let's kill those kids. He's like, how about I recruit you and you come work for me and we go kill those people.
And this demon is like scared of Sukuna. Like he's immediately like, crap.
He's shaking his boots. And I thought that was like, what a cool line of dialogue there. He's like, hey, and Sukuna just super chills. He's like, hey, you can try to attack me, but it's not going to do anything. He's like shivering, pissing his pants basically in the corner.
Right.
And he says, hey, take it easy. I'm not going to kill you yet. That's what I want to. He's like, let's go kill the kids, and then
let's have fun.
Let's have some fun with this guy.
Yeah. But the demon is scared. So the curse is scared. So he attacks Sukuna, and then Sukuna just starts toying with him. Just casually rips his arm off. Yep. Just casually rips his entire arm off. He's lecturing him as he's killing him and stuff like that. Yeah. I mean, it's a thing. And something that happened before this that I forgot to mention is that as Yuji was about to die, he realized for the first time his carefree persona went away, and he said, "Oh, I actually am afraid to die after all. Yeah. Now that I am facing certain death, turns out I am afraid of this thing."
This one sequence, there's just so much that went on.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just packed with details that are important to hope that probably the whole entire plot of the series. We're learning that at the end of this fight, which we're going to get to in a second here, is that we realize that Yuji doesn't have control over Sukuna like he thought he did.
No, yeah.
Not at all. So that kind of changed. We're finding out that Yuji can, summon him at will like he thought he could do. Sukuna's getting a little more control with that second finger. Yuji's losing a little bit more of his ability to control Sukuna.
There might be an anime explanation for it too. If your body is injured, you don't have as much willpower to control the curse in some way. Or his willpower was broken where he's like, oh, I'm afraid of death now. Maybe it's his lack of fear of death that helped contribute to his control of Sukuna or something like that.
And something like that too. And it's also important to note, sorry, I just came to the top of my head, is that it's important to note that he was able to regrow his limbs back. Even Sukuna's like, fuck.
All right.
He's like, I regrew his arm and his fingers. So now we know, okay, so if Yuji doesn't have to worry about that. Because I was like, no way they're gonna. I was like, we all knew though. I was like, no way they're gonna leave him without an arm and fingers. This guy's the protagonist.
That would have been pretty cool if they had Game of Thrones.
That would have been a pretty legit way to go. Right. But he just kind of grew him back, and they weren't. I was like, are they gonna be demon hands? But they actually ended up being Yuji's once he turned back to Yuji.
Right. And Sukuna's like, oh man, I accidentally grew back his other arm too because he wanted to leave him somewhat broken. Yeah. And so then when Sukuna defeats this thing, he's like, okay, kid, take back over now.
Yep.
I know you're going to do it anyway.
He's like, go for it. And what happens is...
He can't do it. So then Sukuna smiles sadistically, thinking about all those maggots, the women and the children crawling. And then that is the end of episode 4.
What a banger. That was so cool, right?
Right.
I mean...
That is the perfect cliffhanger. And it's been a week. I can't wait to watch episode 5 now. I have no idea where this is going or what's going to happen. But man, what stakes right at the beginning of the show? To lose control of the curse inside of you in the first 4 episodes.
I am so ready to watch episode 5.
Yeah. I'm excited. So... what are your predictions going forward? Immediate, long term?
Oh my god!
Do you have anything? Or?
I think to make real predictions besides what we said, I think I'm gonna have to watch a few more episodes. But here's what I am gonna predict. I predict that Yuji does come from some kind of line of Jujutsu hunters or something like that before. Maybe he has that ability.
He has it in his family, or he's cursed in some way.
He's cursed in some way. Maybe his parents are involved in his curse as well. And
maybe his parents are cursed.
Yeah, maybe his parents are cursed, and that would be a really cool 360 or 180 on that one.
And he ate their bones when he was a kid. And that's why he's so strong.
Well, I mean, even Megumi senses energy, not just a curse, but he could sense that the kid had a different kind of curse energy. He would mention in the first episode that hey, you can see curses. That's not normal. It's only special people can see curses. So there's something about you we don't know. So we're gonna find out some really interesting stuff about Yuji for sure. Overall, I really have no clue. I mean, truth is, the really interesting thing about this is that, it's the cast, there's maybe 7 or 8 characters they've even introduced us to for the show. Right. So they're keeping it very small, they're keeping it tight, and it seems to me that it's gonna be a lot of heavy plotting just around these few characters.
Yeah, and I mean, if the show is to be believed, it seems like someone is about to die.
Yes.
Either Yuji or Nobara or Megumi. And they all... Nobara and Megumi seem to be safe at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't think they can kill Yuji. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But somebody, I mean, the episode 3 ended with saying that there was a thing that happened. There was a special grade curse, and then 3 first years were dispatched, and one of them was killed.
Oh, shit. Sorry, guys. We forgot to mention that special grade curse, once Sukuna kills it, we find a finger. One of his fingers.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Huge.
That's right.
So that's another huge moment. I was like, I knew there's that whole sequence was packed with crazy cool stuff.
There's so much information. Yeah, he had. I forgot that he had one of the thing. Yeah,
I did too. So he had one of what made him a special grade curse was he actually had absorbed one of Sukuna's fingers. So we're gonna rewind. We get that he ingests the finger, takes it in himself. And then he's got 3 already. So he needs 17 more, 17 more to become whole.
Yeah.
And so now he's even more powerful, which makes it harder for Yuji to take control, I think. So what do you think is going to happen?
I mean, there's no one that can contend with Sukuna except for Gojo. So I think Gojo's going to appear and have to fight Sukuna. And then we're going to see something about Gojo that we haven't seen because he was so nonchalant.
Right.
They might even up the stakes too, or now that Yuji has eaten 2 fingers and maybe Sukuna's going to eat the 3rd.
Yeah.
That every subsequent finger, Sukuna gets even stronger as he becomes closer to being whole again, or whatever. And so it gives Gojo now has to like do something where he pulls up his little eye mask and use some power that is concealed by that or something like that. I feel like immediately something like that might happen, and then also one of the students might die, although I don't know who. It'd be crazy if they killed Nobara or Megumi this early in the show. And I can't imagine why they would. I've seen merchandise of these guys. It's like, if they were just in 5 episodes, like, why would they be dead? But maybe that's what kind of show this is.
Yeah,
you know, this is a post Attack on Titan show.
Anything can happen.
It's a post Game of Thrones show. Right. You know, the whole world was watching Game of Thrones. The whole world was watching Attack on Titan for that matter. Yeah. So,
I mean, I do not know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. This is so cool because we are just literally 4 episodes in to this show, and we cannot wait to go deeper. Right. But it's just, I have no idea what the hell is going to happen here. Yeah. Like, I really don't. And I'm usually pretty good at figuring stuff out, but that's what makes this show so good is that even in the first episode, it took a rewatch or 2 to even get all the details. Right. So there's no way we're going to know within this. I mean, hell, the stage probably isn't really even set yet, you know? Yeah. I think that last episode 4 was actually kind of the most insight we got into, you know, this curse, Sukuna, and how it's going to involve Yuji and then the rest of the, you know, cursed world around it. So we're just opening that first layer. That onion's just being unpeeled right now. Yeah,
I mean, I really enjoyed this show. I am curious about the mystery. I'm not like obsessed with the show yet. I'm like episodes 2 and 3 kind of brought the energy down a little bit. I mean, they were fun, but it wasn't like, oh man, this show is insane. Yeah. Like there hasn't been a moment like that yet in this show. Nothing that I haven't seen before. Right. So I'm waiting for that to hit because the people that I know who watch the show, when they talk about it, they talk about it in those tones. So I'm waiting to be kicked in the face with this show.
Yeah, we don't know what episode's going to happen. I'm sure you guys do. Don't tell us. Don't spoil it for us, please, please, please. We're just going to have a good fun watching it. And if you haven't watched it, watch it with us along.
Watch it with us. Even if you listen to this episode and you hadn't seen it and you're curious about it, watch it. It's still enjoyable, whether you've heard us talk about it or not. I mean, again, we watched it multiple times in preparation for this pod. I feel like you can get a lot out of it. And then you can come back next week where we will be covering episodes 5 through 8.
5 through 8. So we're so excited. We just want to take one moment also to plug our YouTube channel and check that out. Make sure to check out Nerdy Jock Media on YouTube, on Spotify, YouTube, audio streaming services, Apple Podcasts. We have it around every major station. And if you haven't watched the Dragon Ball Z pod yet and you're just jumping in for the Jujutsu Kaisen, go back and watch the Dragon Ball Z pod. It's an awesome pod. DK is a DB guru, so he knows his stuff. And we just have a really fun time talking about Dragon Ball Z too. So
revisiting it 10 to 17 episodes at a time, reliving the great moments, you know, just through the lens of kids who grew up with it and just kind of fits and starts, and, you know, and all that stuff. And
we go through all the hits and even some of the misses. Yeah. You know? So it's a fun time. And anything else you want to add for this episode?
No, I think that's it. Yeah. I think that I'm excited to watch episode 5 now, and I'm going to go do that right now. So thank you for joining us.
Join us on this journey. We'll see you next time.
All right.
Yeah. Peace. All right.